is one of the main things I really want to speak about in this video, even as the large media outlets describing what is going on right now as a war. The definition of a war is two or more armed countries, large groups of armed individuals or opposition forces coming together in conflict. This is not a war. The IDF is one of the world's strongest militaries, and they have actually already dropped 6,000 bombs on Gaza and have been attacking them for over 75 years. And what do the Palestinians have? They have stones. Does this sound like two equal players fighting in a war? No. It is a heavy one-sided military force with the aid of huge powerhouses like the USA and the United Kingdom. Yes, my birth country, against Palestinians who cannot even leave the area they are bombing.
I never really thought that I would see and have confirmed pictures of terrorists beheading children.
Babies and toddlers were found with their heads decapitated.
What separates Israel, the United States, and other democracies is our respect for international law.
There's no occupation in Gaza.
Oh, yes, there is. Absolutely. Absolutely there is.
I don't think there's any way Israel can be expected to coexist or find some diplomatic off-ramp with these savages.
Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. A full-scale Israeli ground offensive would likely lead to large-scale casualties.
They are terrorists. Civilians as human shield.
Accept the right of Israel to exist.
Whoever strikes Israel will strike back.
Does that mean starve the Palestinian people?
They have to be eradicated.
My view is one side is guilty, and it's not Israel.
The war is not just with Hamas. The war is with all the civilians.
We're in a religious war here.
Finish them. Finish them.
Those small clips that you just watched give you a small insight into how large media outlets aim to allow Israel to commit genocide. For the last 23 days and longer, media outlets have demonized Palestinians to the point that, at best, their lives are collateral damage, and at worst, they're not worth living on this planet. And as you see, with huge broadcast companies and media outlets across the world, the majority of their reporters are reporting from where? They're reporting from Tel Aviv. This is a huge vantage point. Why is it a huge vantage point? What did Israel just do in Gaza? They blocked all communication. They blocked all internet. They blocked all food, water, fuel, and medicine. How can Palestinians report the truth of what is going on without this power, without this communication? This is why single-handedly media outlets are allowing Israel to commit this genocide, because they are giving the platforms to speak. That's simply it. They're giving the platforms for them to speak, whereas Palestinians are those stuck under rubble from Israeli bombings that Israel are determined the world not to see. So you ask, what is the consequence of this? It means that everyone is being subjected to the media reports by those in Tel Aviv, a one-sided biased report of what is going on. And these media outlets, mostly owned by people who have joint ties, I guess you can say, with Israel. And what's this all down to? Self-profit. An example of this, we all saw reports all across the world of Hamas beheading babies. This was a claim by Israeli propaganda, a claim which even Israel itself refused to investigate. Even Joe Biden, the President of the United States of America, endorsed this false claim on national television, and it was later deemed as untrue, and journalists were left with nothing to do but apologize. So, what does this all come down to? One idea from me, this all comes down to decades and decades and decades of Muslims and Arabs being deemed as terrorists, as violent individuals, as violent and dangerous people, as extremists, as human animals. And one thing that the media are doing nowadays, which is so ethically wrong, is they're taking everything that the Israeli officials are saying as true. It's undisputed, and they are broadcasting this to the world.
There is two sides. One side, the Israeli side, who wish and dream for peace, for optimism, for life, for dignity. And there is one side that cherish death, that cherish destruction, that brings destruction. Fundamentalism, extremist, you need to choose a side.
As this member of the IDF explains, yes, there is one side that does cherish death, and there is one side that does want peace. Our idea of who that could be, an idea of who wants peace, and those that cherish death, are in fact opposite. I hope this video taught you something important, and I hope it taught you to keep searching through truth, not through false sensationalism.